Hi, Craig. Everything is totally normal and nothing weird just happened.
No, welcome to Nats Talk on the Go episode, whatever the hell we're on.
113.
Oh, lucky 113. There we
Yeah.
go.
Oh, 13, you son of a bitch.
Yep.
Uh, yeah.
First time. I'm sorry. Nothing has been weird. That's what she said jokes.
Nice. Yeah, there was no terrible that's what she said jokes. There were no awkward references to weird things. We just started this totally normally, and we did not just do a 20-minute podcast uh, before we had technical difficulties, I promise.
No.
So this is the
This is
benefit of listening live. If you
this
listen
is
live, you get
brand new information.
exactly. If you listen live, you get in on the shenanigans. This is your incentive to listen live. There you go.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
So, Craig, what do you want to start with?
Well, let's talk about how excited we are for our big announcement next week.
Oh, yes, I forgot. I totally forgot. That's how we started in the first place.
We didn't start anything in the first
Oh,
place.
that's right.
This
Sorry.
is entirely new.
I'm very, very bad at this pretending nothing bad happened.
Yes, you are.
So starting next week, in all seriousness, we've been talking for a long time. We've been teasing for a long time about the big announcement that we have coming before opening day. So before opening next week, we're going to make an announcement about all of the stuff that we've been teasing, all of the stuff that you could do to maybe help us and how we can help you and how we can do some cool stuff to talk about baseball going into 2016.
And beyond.
And beyond, but how we can have regular conversations and make sure that we're able to regularly connect and do mostly weekly podcasts throughout the baseball season. So we're going to have some more details on that next week. So as Craig said, just go.
So we've got 10 days left till the regular season starts. So let's maybe once again talk about things we're looking forward to. For those of you that were watching earlier, the Nationals.
There was no earlier, Craig.
No. Earlier in baseball land.
Oh, okay.
This is Joe. You're so bad at this.
I'm so awful. I hate when things don't work. I am an IT professional. Drives me crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, some professional, right?
Yeah, right. What a joke.
Am I right, guys? Am I right, you guys?
Hey.
No, the Nationals beat the Yankees 13-0. Steven Strasburg started 70 pitches, 52 strikes, 9 strikeouts in, I believe it was 5 innings. So that's pretty good. And it's Steven Strasburg's walk year. He is going to be a free agent in 6.5 months after the Nationals win the World Series.
Nice.
Yeah, I dropped that in there this time. So Steven Strasburg, one of the best pitchers in baseball in the second half last year. And it seems like not a lot of people are talking about how utterly dominant he was. And I believe you might have heard something on a podcast this past week that you can share with the class.
Yes. Effectively Wild, which is a great baseball prospectus / Who show. Baseball prospectus and Who? I don't know.
And well, it used to be Ben Lindbergh of Grantland.
Oh, he's with 538. Yeah.
He's with 538 now, but it's still technically a Baseball Prospectus podcast.
Gotcha. So
Sam Miller is the editor-in-chief, I believe.
Yes, I believe you're correct. But this week was the Washington Nationals episode of the show. So they had Chelsea Janes and James Wagner on
J-Wags
to talk about Nationals baseball, and it was an interesting conversation. And I believe it was Sam Miller that brought up that Steven Strasburg in the second half of last year had a 1.9 earn run average in the second half, and it's something that people don't talk about because he struggled at the beginning with a spring training injury, and he never got right until after he had a little extra time off, and he was awesome in the second half.
Yeah, he was really, 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 really good. And I'm wondering if that's the Steven Strasburg we should expect in his walk year. And if it is, how many of the Scrooge McDuck-sized money pools is he going to get?
Yeah, the answer is a lot. And I'm going to dig through some numbers here that I'm just now looking at for the very first time. Steven Strasburg made his major league debut in 2010. I was there. It was amazing. It was the
June 8th, 2010.
It's true. He was against the Pirates, and
The Pirates.
I'm pretty sure his first strikeout was Lastings Millage.
Blastings Thrillage.
Yes. And so since that debut, he's missed quite a bit of time with injury. He's missed about 300 innings worth of time, probably, when you look at comparable players who have played the same amount of time. So if you look at starting pitchers since 2010, Steven Strasburg is 20th in Fangraphs wins above replacement. When you consider he only pitched 776 innings during those 5 years, and all but 3 other people in the top 20 pitched over 1,000, and yet he still is in that company. It is pretty impressive. Oh, by the way, other people in those numbers: Chris Sale, Adam Wainwright, and Cliff Lee. Is not anymore.
What I might have been trying to ask earlier was, this is MLB wide, yes?
Yeah, no, not National League. This is Major Leagues. Yeah, this is all starting pitchers.
That's not bad.
It's impressive. And then you look at the rest of those, the rest of his numbers and other numbers that kind of take away, don't necessarily look at the fact that he had some injured time. Most notably the Tommy John surgery. But if you look at his FIP, Steven Strasburg has the 6th best FIP in among starting pitchers in Major League Baseball since he entered Major Leagues at 2.83. That's on his career.
Is that all?
And the only other guys above him are, Clayton Kershaw, obviously.
Yeah.
And then 2 and 3, Matt Harvey and Jacob deGrom. And this is why we're talking about the Mets' ridiculously good starting rotation this year, by the way.
That's fantastic.
And then Cliff Lee 4, who is no longer in baseball, and Adam Wainwright 5, and then Steven Strasburg 6.
Yeah, Cliff Lee at 4 is, wow. His career took a nosedive.
It really did. It's still his career took a nosedive and was still that good.
Yeah, life is a hell of a thing to happen to a person.
Yeah, no kidding. But then, one of my favorite numbers to look at, as far as pitcher success, is strikeouts per 9, because it is a fun stat to look at.
I like fun stats.
Any guess on, since 2010 or 2000? Yeah. 2010. That's the year. Who the number 1 K per 9 person in Major League Baseball is? Just any guesses?
Kimbrel?
No, starting pitchers. Pitchers. American League.
It's gonna be something weird like Keuchel.
It is not. This guy missed all of last year with injury, basically.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it.
Texas Rangers.
Oh, Yu Darvish.
Yeah. Yu Darvish with a strikeout per 9 above 11.
Yeah, the Rangers are going to be silly, nasty good this year.
But
with Ian Desmond in center field.
Which is going to be hilarious and good for him, obviously. But
threw someone out at home today.
I saw something about that, but haven't seen it yet because we've been podcasting for a while, except not really. Long story short, strikeouts per 9, Steven Strasburg is 2. With 10.44 strikeouts per 9. So, more than a guy an inning he strikes out, which is pretty okay. Guys below him, Chris Sale, Clayton Kershaw, Danny Salazar, Max Scherzer, Corey Kluber, Jake DeGrom, Matt Harvey. So, Steven Strasburg is looking at, as you said, a backed up Brinks truck this offseason.
That was on the last podcast, Joe. That I said that.
Well, I'm bringing it back.
This was Scrooge McDuck-sized pool.
There was no last podcast, Greg.
That's very true.
God, this is pure crap.
So for those of you listening right now, tell us what you're drinking, and I'll tell you what I'm drinking.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Champion out of Charlottesville. It's their IPA brewed with orange juice, grapefruit juice, and citrus zest. It's called Fruit Basket.
Ooh, yummy.
It's pretty tasty. And I've got, as a backup, some delicious Spanish lager. So.
I love it as a backup, just in case it goes long.
Well, I grabbed a second backup while we might have been in somewhat of a technical delay.
What? No, that didn't happen.
Anyway, Strasburg's going to get a lot of money. Do you think he gets more than Greinke?
No.
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 Is
I do
it
not.
because he doesn't have the awards?
It doesn't have the awards, and he's got a Tommy John on his record.
I would think that a Tommy John would actually provide a little comfort that he's already had
and
it.
that he's already had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That I feel like the breakdown of Tommy John arms do break down. We're starting to have more guys having second Tommy John surgeries.
Well, that's just the Braves because they're terrible.
Well, that is true. But no, I would lean on the side of I don't think Zach Greinke money. I think pushing 200 million money.
So Steven Strasburg has a sub-2 ERA, wins Cy Young. Nationals have a stellar season.
So we're not okay. So
No,
not,
I'm here. I'm hypothetical land right now.
Okay,
Just
gotcha. Okay,
for shenanigans because there hasn't been enough of those tonight. Steven Strasburg wins the Cy Young this year. How much does he make?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Does he make Greinke money? Because he's what, 30?
Yeah, he's young. I don't.
Is he even 30?
No, he won't be 30 by his free agent year. I don't think. Yeah, no, he won't be. He'll be 28 this year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So.
That question just got harder. So. Maybe okay. I still don't think I don't think he breaks 210. I don't. But Scherzer broke 210.
He's got Boris.
Yeah, I think he gets about Scherzer money probably a little bit younger, plus Scott Boras, but so maybe Scherzer money without the backloading.
Okay.
Because what did Scherzer's contract end up being worth? 180-ish?
Yeah, around there.
So I think he gets 200-ish, but without the deferral.
Yeah, I think the deferral is a tool the Nationals have used because of something we might discuss later.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, Strasburg, I think, is one of my most, I guess, things that I'm most intrigued about to watch this year.
Yeah.
And
if he's healthy, he's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's a perfect actually lead in to the next thing I'm looking forward to. In the Nationals' utter cleaning house after the season last year, the entire medical staff and conditioning staff got canned.
Yep.
They have an entire new staff, a focus on soccer-style analytics in terms of health. How much do you think this is going to come into play, or do you think it will at all?
Oh, I think it definitely will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're already seeing it in spring training. And you can't read too much into spring training, and yes, the glut of injuries that the Nationals experienced in spring training last season was certainly some bad luck. Steven Strasburg, I believe he slipped on a baseball. I think it was something ridiculous like that when he had his ankle issue. So you're going to have those kinds of weird things, but you're already seeing the health this spring, a week before the season ends. By this point last year, the Nationals had already lost Denard Span. They'd already lost Anthony Rendon. It was done. They were already gone for opening day.
No. Anthony Rendon was day to day.
Yeah, but this is my point.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were gone, and I just feel like if it wasn't making a difference, we would have had something.
Yeah.
Players get hurt.
Yes, that is inevitable.
The year in 2012 when the Nationals' entire starting rotation was healthy for 162 games was just the most baffling thing ever, because that never happens.
Right.
That will happen once in 20 years of our franchise, which was a lot of the reason they actually had the success that they had, obviously. But I think that it's already making a difference, and I think it will continue to. There's only a certain level to which you can prevent injuries, obviously.
Right.
But I do think prolonging health before the inevitable injury is a significant thing and a good thing to achieve, because you're getting more innings from every guy on the field before they end up having that inevitable injury.
Yes.
What do you think?
I really think it's going to make a difference because if only for a little bit more clarity and a little bit more openness from the organization in terms of actually what injuries are.
Yeah,
Like
you're talking about like you said, the
the
Anthony
day-to-day,
Rendon
which turns
day-to-day for an
into
entire spring training.
yeah, which turns into a month and a half, 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months
Yeah.
when it's a day-to-day injury. I think just that, and then the Nationals had a lot of soft tissue injuries, hamstring pulls, oblique strains in the past couple years that really, I think, I mean, obviously not an expert. I sell beer for a living, for God's sakes. Not an expert in the body. If you've seen me, I've got a dad bod on fleek. So,
Wow.
yeah, that just
Stop it.
happened.
Just
Yeah.
keep going.
Um, so I think that a little bit of maybe a stretching routine. I think there are things that can be done to prevent all of the oblique injuries, all of the hamstring strains, quadricep strains, turned ankles that the Nationals have really suffered from in the last several years, to be honest. And I think getting Ryan Zimmerman healthy, keeping Anthony Rendon healthy, if those things can actually happen, it's going to make a huge difference in how the club performs.
What does Ryan Zimmerman being healthy look like to you?
130 games.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say 120, and
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. Having Ryan Zimmerman for 120 games and hanging out with Clint Robinson for the other 40, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
That is a platoon that I am okay with. If it means that Ryan Zimmerman plays 120 games like Ryan Zimmerman is capable of doing.
Right. But I think the new staff is something that no one's really talking about, but they really should be.
Yeah,
Because we haven't seen, knock on wood, my head, um, any major injuries so far this spring. I mean, you saw, I think it was Joe Ross took a pitch off the heel or took
his
a
heel. Yeah,
comebacker off his
yeah.
heel, and he ended up being fine. But there's a lot of luck that comes into a winning baseball team. A lot of luck that comes in terms of health, in terms of players having career years, and I mean, it's a fluky thing, but I think the Nationals can do a better job, and I am really encouraged by the start they've had this spring.
Yeah, the one injury worth noting is Bronson Arroyo, um, who had that rotator cuff tear turned bursa sac inflammation.
I just like saying Bursa sack.
Yeah, that's what Bryce Harper had in his knee in 2012. In case you're, looking back on for a comp. So, no, it's not as bad as a rotator cuff tear, but it's not a little deal either. So I just feel like that little nugget is worth noting.
Yeah, for sure.
The one thing I wanted to say before we get too far off from the Strasburg topic that I had a note and forgot to look down at my piece of paper for.
Nice.
Dusty Baker has said that Steven Strasburg will be the third starter this year, not the second starter.
Okay.
And at first, I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Are you like?" Because Gio Gonzalez will start the second game, and I was just like, "What? What is happening here?" And then I realized what it was: Steven Strasburg starting opening day at Nats Park.
Okay.
And to me, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I really, and this is the thing that this is the gesture and the wherewithal that Dusty Baker has that Matt Williams will never have as a manager, unless he learns it from somebody like Dusty Baker.
Yeah.
Is that Matt Williams or Dusty Baker recognizes that there are important pieces of pomp and circumstance, and whether Strasburg is 2 or 3 does not really matter. He was 3 last year. Jordan Zimmerman was 2. I thought it should have been the other way around. I still think it should have been the other way around. But Dusty, I think, is doing this for a reason. He knows that third game of the season is opening day at Nationals Park, and he wants Max Scherzer to start opening day, and he wants Dusty Baker, and he wants Steven Strasburg to start opening day at Nats Park. And I think that those two things mean something. And it's one of the things that has just really brought me around on on Dusty Baker's manager. He gets those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I wanted to bring that up because I think it's going to be really cool that on opening day at Nats Park, Steven Strasburg is going to get that start. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's all I want to say on that. You can pick up back on health or move on to your next thing.
My next thing is basically what can we reasonably expect out of Worth and Rendon? In 2014, Worth and Rendon were both phenomenal players. In 2015, by WAR, they were probably the biggest drop-off players in baseball in terms of year-to-year decline. Rendon, obviously, huge health issues. Worth, obviously, health and age issues. What do we expect from those players? I mean, Rendon is young, but health has obviously been his bugaboo for the whole time. And Worth is 37.
Yeah, he'll be 37 this season. It's his age 37 year, as we say. I think that Worth, what you have to expect from Jason Worth at this point in his career is success when he's in there.
Yeah.
But without expecting to play 140 games.
Yeah, I really think that's the key with Jason Worth. I think he can be a really productive player. He's obviously not going to be a 6-win player. Yeah. Very few players are at that age without the use of performance-enhancing drugs. See the early 2000s for evidence. But you can absolutely be a very valuable contributing member of the team for 100 games.
For sure.
At that age. And I think that's going to be the key number. Getting the off day a week, getting the 2 off days a week.
Yeah, 2, I think.
2 off days a week. I mean, especially with the way Michael A. Taylor is playing. Good Lord.
Yeah, and that's where the benefit of Michael A. Taylor really shines is he could be on that bench, but if you're looking at that lineup, and this is, I think, last year, a lot of what should have happened with Danny Espinosa that didn't happen when he was hitting so hot, that he should have been playing 5 days a week at third base and at shortstop and at second base and in left field. But instead of that happening, he regressed into nothing because he played a half a day a week.
Yeah.
I think this is where Michael A. Taylor's value could really come. He could play 2 days a week for Jason Worth. He could play a day a week for Ben Revere. He could play a day a week for, a day every week and a half or so for Bryce Harper to give him an occasional day off, every 2 weeks for Bryce Harper to keep him healthy and MVP caliber. And all of a sudden you're getting him 4 starts a week and maybe a pinch running or defensive replacement kind of thing in left field at the end of the game for Jason Worth.
Yeah.
Or center field and moving Revere to left, which would be even better.
Mm-hmm.
And then Taylor is making an impact. You're still getting the benefit, which there is a net benefit of having Jason Worth in your lineup.
Oh, not just for his on-field performance, but for his leadership in the clubhouse 100%. On the field.
100%. He's one of those cliche goes about the game the right way guys.
Yeah.
But you have to look at, he had almost 400 plate appearances last year and was one of 24 negative WAR players in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
You have to take that into account for a player who's entering his age 37 season. With 2 years left, making a boatload of money, you have to preserve him where you can. And luckily, the Nationals are in a place with their outfield where they can do that. It's why they went after Jason Hayward last year, last offseason, and why they went out and got Ben Revere. They obviously needed a center fielder, but they needed the outfield depth. And don't forget about Matt Dendecker, who could make an impact as well.
Yeah, I like Matt.
He's there, and under club control forever.
Now Anthony Rendon, he still managed 355 plate appearances last year.
That's higher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and whereas in almost 700 plate appearances the year before, or twice the plate appearances, 6.5 WAR. In half the plate appearances in 15, 0.9.
Yeah,
we have to try and attribute this to health and that he had to get his Rendon get his groove back a little bit, but man, that's a really stark drop from the 3.2 if you even just split it in half.
Yeah.
His slugging percentage went down over 100 points.
Yeah, I think you have to attribute that a lot to help, because didn't he come back and then leave and come back like Span did?
It's entirely possible.
And if not, I think it was a things aren't going well. We have to get you back in the lineup, so you're going to get back in the lineup now.
We don't have a choice, yeah.
Kind of situation. And don't forget, I think a huge factor for Rendon is he's going to be the everyday third baseman this year. There's no Yunel Escobar. There's no confusion. Anthony Rendon is going to play third base every day as long as he's healthy.
Yes, third base, not second.
Yeah, Anthony Rendon is not a second baseman. The only reason he played second base in his rookie season was because Ryan Zimmerman was still playing third base, because they had and only because they had Adam LaRoche.
Yeah.
So I think that Rendon playing third base every day, first of all, will be an easier position on him in general with his footwork and everything. Most of his injuries have been lower body related, so I think that will be good. And if he could stay healthy, he probably has the fastest bat on the team. I know Bryce Harper has a quick bat as well, but Rendon's is a very direct to the ball, high contact kind of bat. And I think that if Rendon can stay healthy, and I think that he can, with again, A, this new training staff, and B, this playing third base every day and no competition for that at all.
Yeah.
I think that he can go back to his, maybe not 2014 top 5 MVP, but top 10. I could see Anthony Rendon getting back there.
Yeah. I hope so. He's young enough. I think he's definitely talented enough. So,
yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, he is I saw somebody tweet out. It might have been our very own Andrew Flax, but it could have been somebody else as well, talking about the ridiculousness of the fact that in back-to-back drafts, the Nats draft, was it back-to-back that they drafted Rendon and Giolito?
It's entirely possible
as like number 6 and 18 picks. Because Mike Rizzo knows how to take a risk, and if it pays off more than half the time and you get guys like Giolito and Rendon, it's worth it. And I think that more often than not, Rendon's going to have those years, but you knew when you drafted him that he had some injury-prone years.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think part of minimizing those injury-prone years is playing one position.
Yes.
That, when you move from one side of the infield to the other, it makes a big difference. So I look forward to seeing Rendon playing every day, and I think that he can get back to a top 10 MVP form. What do you think?
I think it all depends on how the team does, and that sounds stupid, but it's kind of how it goes. I mean, you can't really...
Not everybody can have Bryce Harper's 2015, who carries a team.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if the Nationals are a division-winning team and Rendon puts up 2014 numbers, 287, 351, 473, then he's going to be in the conversation, depending on what Bryce Harper does. But I think it all kind of depends on how well the team's doing. So...
Yeah, I think so too. But that's a lot of it when you have a team that's getting more veteran. The Mets right now are where the Nationals were in 12 and 13. They are really young. They have a couple of important veteran pieces like David Wright, who's unfortunately, got the injury issues. And even Cespedes at this point is obviously a veteran presence there. But you also have a lot of really young guys. To succeed, so the health is not as big a deal. With the Nationals, health is a big deal. If the guys play, you're going to win a lot because they've been there, they've done it, and they're very good. But it's just a matter of keeping guys on the field. And I think that when you look at a Nationals lineup of a top of a lineup, which includes Revere and Murphy and Harper and Zimmerman and Worth, and it's good. It's a good lineup. So
it's got potential.
Yeah. It's just, can they stay healthy and remain effective?
Yeah. Does Trey Turner make the team because of Davy Lopes?
No, not on opening day. No, I think that he needs to. I think they believe he needs some more at bats. He's kind of proven that at every level that he's at, he needs a few weeks of at bats before he gets comfortable. He never got that in 2015.
Even with the incredibly disappointing performance of Danny Espinosa.
Espinosa's been bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way around it. But Espinosa has to make the team or he's not on the team. So I think Espinosa makes the team because when you start looking at, you could make an argument that Turner makes the team, but because they need another middle infielder. But then who do you start? So I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still lean towards no, but it's not out of the realm, right?
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think it's much more in the realm of possibility than it was 2 weeks ago, even just because we've seen a lot of game action now, and we're seeing how much Dusty Baker is really pushing the run game.
The run game's pretty fun.
I mean, when you got Davy Lopes there, he's teaching the players how to actually steal bases, and they're stealing them with relative ease because more and more teams are looking at catchers for their pitch framing, whereas for eternity, since the inception of baseball, they've looked at which catcher has the best arm, and now it's which can frame the best.
Yeah.
So arm has become secondary. So these players are really starting to take advantage of learning about a pitcher, what their tells are, whether they're going to throw over or not. So the Nationals have really taken advantage. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now. Let me see. The Nationals have 12, 20, 27, 28 stolen bases so far in spring training, with a grand total of 3 caught stealings.
And that's more than a stolen base a game.
Yes, and if to be an elite base runner, to be like literally elite, one of the best in the game, you need to be over 80%.
And they're at what is that?
That's 28 out of 31.
Yeah, that's insane.
So
that's a 90% stolen base percentage.
Yeah, and 2 of those 3 caught stealings are Ben Revere.
Yeah.
Trey Turner, 6 stolen bases.
Well, Trey Turner has he has 75 speed. I mean,
he's got
maybe
good
80.
Speed. Maybe our friend Nats GM can help us out with that one.
Yeah. Who should throw a little extra Firefly in his lemonade.
But, I know, dude. Pink lemonade, too? Really?
Hey, I've got nothing wrong with a little pink lemonade. Just a little extra Firefly.
All right, fine. All right.
Last time I had Firefly, spring training. True story.
Very nice.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, you remember.
Oh. I don't know how I remember.
But hey, you know what? I made it. But I think that he could obviously have a base path impact. I don't think his bat impact is there, and I think that he needs to be ready to be a leadoff player when he is playing every day.
You don't see a point to them having him there if he's not starting?
Not if he's not getting 15 at bats a week. No, I don't. I think he needs to get 15 at bats a week, at least. I think he needs to play on the regular, which he will obviously get in the minors because he's going to start at AAA, and it doesn't matter what team he's on. So I wouldn't hate seeing him start at AAA in April. The only question is, who is your middle infield insurance? Otherwise, that's my one question. I don't know who the middle infield insurance is. I mean, maybe Stephen Drew makes the club. That's probably the best option. But
yeah, I think definitely it's going to be Stephen Drew, just because he's been so good this spring.
Yeah,
and I mean, to be a backup, you kind of just need good defense.
Especially in the middle infield, and he's got that in spades.
He's got the phenomenal defense, and I believe he's hitting over 300 for the spring so far with a little pup, which is super surprising.
So, I mean, you ride the hot veteran hand in a guy like Stephen Drew, and as a backup to Espinosa, and if Espinosa really, really, really struggles, then, Drew is, the first guy to get cut, or, you figure out what you want to do with Espinosa and you bring up Turner up to start when he's got some at-bats. But I'd really like to see Turner get starts at AAA. I'm not saying all year. I'm saying like until May. I'd really like to see him get a start against some quality AAA pitching, and have him see a little junk before he comes up to the major league level, because I think when Turner hits the major league level, he should be hitting first or second.
Okay, I like it.
That's what do you think on that? Do you think he makes the team or no?
I don't think he does, but if he does, it would not surprise me.
Yeah, I don't think it would surprise me if he does. I would like to see him get a few more at bats against some quad A pitchers with some, like I said, with a hook and a whatever, to see if he can get his vision up a little bit before he comes up to the major league level and is leading off against the likes of Jake DeGrom.
Okay,
that's just my thought. But I think he's the future leadoff hitter for this team.
Nice.
I don't think there's any question in my mind that he has the bat to make contact, and he's real fast. So
he is quite fast.
Even if his on-base percentage isn't, 370 leading off, you know what? If it's 340 and he's hitting 290 and he's stealing 40 bases a year, you know what? That's fine with me.
I like it.
That's fine with me. So, anything else on Turner?
No, we're rocking it.
I like it. We're saying we're rocking it, whether we are or not.
You know what? It's fine.
Or our listeners can tell us if we are in fact rocking it.
That's right.
So you want to talk a little more about Michael A., or have we talked enough about Michael A.?
No, he's really good, and yeah, he's having a phenomenal spring, and he's making everyone take notice. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's a big part for him, is just kind of being like, I'm here. Don't forget about me. I'm going to be a big deal for you guys, and I think that's going to be true. He's obviously been huge, but this one I know came from my dear colleague and associate managing editor of thenasblog.com. Andrew Flax said, yeah, this is all great and he's doing well, but he's still striking out 26% of the time. And I don't think that's an invalid point.
Right.
But I'm okay with the strikeouts if it means 25 home runs and hitting 280.
Yeah.
As long as he's not leading off.
With defense.
With defense, because he provides significant defense.
Right.
He is much better in center field. And by much better, I mean much better than Ben Revere in center field.
It's easy to tolerate a bad bat with good defense. I mean, we've said this how many times about the middle infield? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Even when Danny Espinosa was struggling majorly, it was like, get him in there, because the defense that he provides is going to more than make up for the bat.
It's going to get you more wins than not in that situation. And
I think Michael A. Taylor, even 260 with 18 home runs, that's phenomenal from.
I agree. I totally agree. I think that he could make a significant impact with the defense. And I don't think there's any question at this point that he makes the team personally.
No, I agree.
I think that he is a mortal lock.
I think your backup outfielders are Den Decker and Michael A. Taylor.
Good bet.
Yep.
We don't have this on the list, but I just want to hit the point real quick.
Yeah.
Is there any chance at all that Michael A. Taylor doesn't get released at the end of spring training or put on waivers? Or, I'm sorry. Tyler Moore. Moore.
Wow. I think there's definitely a chance.
You think he makes the team?
You said if I thought there was a chance he gets put on waivers.
No, that he would not be put on.
God, your questioning is confusing.
Yeah, sorry, I double negatives. What?
Yeah. I think there's definitely a chance he gets released or put on waivers.
I think he gets put on waivers. I don't think there's any doubt about it. The caveat being, as we talked about last episode, is Ryan Zimmerman on the opening day roster.
Yes.
Ryan Zimmerman's on the opening day is starts on opening day for the Nationals. Then Tyler Moore is no longer on the team or gets put through waivers and is in AAA. I mean, I don't think there's much question about that.
I honestly don't think there's going to be many places for him.
If he gets placed on waivers, I think there's with $1 million contract, which is what I think he has. I don't know that he gets picked up.
Yeah, I don't know he gets picked up because he hasn't done it.
Yeah,
he hasn't been a
he's
major league player,
but he's not done it.
He's shown phenomenal flashes. They've been great.
Oh yeah.
But they haven't lasted more than a couple games.
Yeah, and in fairness to him, he mostly hasn't had an opportunity to play multiple games in a row at the same position in his whole career. But when you're approaching 30 and that's been your career, you've got to adjust for that. And if he can't, then he can't. He's better than, but he's kind of hitting Chris Marrero territory.
Very nice.
Can only play one position, and he's blocked at that position, and he doesn't hit well enough for a first baseman to really play anywhere.
That's Chris Marrero to a T.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Marrero was a fine player, but he was blocking the organization, and he wasn't a good enough first baseman to catch on anywhere else for $1 million. So I feel like Tyler Moore is kind of hitting that territory, unfortunately for him.
Without the first round pick.
Yeah, obviously.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ouch. Deep burn. Jim Bowden. Yeah. So we could talk about Nationals Park naming rights.
We can talk about anything. We really spent a lot of time on that stuff, which was good stuff.
It was good. So we've got a question about the Nats Park naming rights from Beard. So let's talk about another thing that I definitely didn't talk about an hour ago, which was while Craig was dealing with technical difficulties that.
Wait.
That were totally my fault.
There it is.
Yeah. We talked about Effectively Wild a little bit before, but if you haven't listened to the Nats preview podcast they put out this week, you definitely should check it out because it's excellent. But on that note, Chelsea Janes from the Washington Post talked about Jonathan Papelbon as a clubhouse leader for the Nationals, which I know will catch a lot of people by surprise because fans have certainly developed an opinion about Jonathan Papelbon. And from a fan's perspective, I don't think that is wrong. And if you don't like him, I can hardly blame you as a person if you don't like him. However, I don't think it's players in the public playing lip service to the fact that they actually like Papelbon. And while they disagreed with how he dealt with a particular set of terrible circumstances at the end of the 2015 season, they basically were like, yeah, that's kind of who he is, though. And it's kind of what we like about him. And he leads pitchers and he helps teach guys pitches and he's out keeping people accountable. And he dealt with it in a very, very wrong way. But that's kind of all he was doing with Harper is keeping him accountable, trying to get a guy to play hard, even though the team was a total train wreck. And so I thought it was interesting that Chelsea Janes basically was like, I've been in that clubhouse a lot and guys are looking to Papelbon for advice. Papelbon has taken a huge interest in Gio Gonzalez. It's pretty apparent going into the season. And I don't think that's bad.
No, I don't think it's bad. Also, Joe Ross.
Yeah. Which he taught him a slider, right?
Yeah,
Splitter. Okay.
Great interview today by MASN Kolko on the broadcast. Who can eat the hell out of some Lucky Charms, that's for sure. But no, they were just hanging out, riding in the car, and Papelbon was like, Kurt Schilling taught me this splitter. Let me teach it to you. So Joe Ross learning a fourth pitch, which if you can throw an average to above average 4 pitches, you are going to be dominant.
Oh, yeah.
So, Papelbon, you don't have to like him, and I don't like
who he is off the baseball field, it doesn't seem like he's a guy that I would want to have a beer with personally.
No, he has a very low beer ability.
Yes. However,
the clubhouse likes him.
yeah,
He and I can honestly respect about him that who Jonathan Papelbon is.
he pulls no punches about that, honestly.
No, he is who he is, and you can like him or not. And I choose not to like him. He is not a person that I would be interested in being friends with or whatever. But there is something to be said about someone that doesn't hide who they are. And
Yep.
he doesn't, and the players seem to respond to that. And these issues that happened at the end of last season happened. They were over, according to everyone involved, that day, which is great. He got suspended, which he deserved to be.
Yep.
And bygones have become bygones. And as of now, he's a teammate. He's helping out. He is pushing the players.
And by all accounts, well. I mean, people are appreciating the fire that, they know what he is and they're appreciating it. Even guys from Philadelphia kind of were quoted in articles that I've read that were like, Papelbon and I bumped heads, but honestly, it was because he wanted more out of me.
Yeah.
He's not this like evil, sadistic person. Now he may, like I said, he may go about things the wrong way sometimes, but if the players in the clubhouse like him, and it seems like they genuinely do, why do I care?
And
go win baseball games.
The thing that I want to mention personally is, I've talked a lot in the past about how utterly boring players like Mike Trout and Ryan Zimmerman are.
Yeah.
And Derek Jeter. Just nothing.
Yeah.
Just nothing quotes. Jonathan Papelbon is not a nothing quote.
Yeah.
I may not like what he has to say all the time.
Yep.
But he has personality, and that's something that should be encouraged.
It's what Bryce Harper was talking about, and then guys like Chris Bryant came back and say, have a personality, and Harper's quote of basically, if I beat you and hit a 500-foot home run, and I'm going to take an extra second to watch it, and if you beat me and make me look stupid, you stare me into the dugout, and you know what? That's fine. That's fine. You beat me. I'll get you next time.
Yep.
And I think there should be more feeling like that in baseball.
Yeah, it kind of goes into the wonderful Goose Gossage thing of the past week, and the great what was it? Who was it? Ken Rosenthal that wrote something about Harper?
I don't know.
There was a great piece.
Might have been Rosenthal, or it was either Rosenthal or it was Passon. I don't remember.
Okay, there was a great ESPN piece on Bryce Harper in the past week and a half, and there was a great piece that was pretty much like Harper said baseball's boring, which he's not wrong. There needs to be more excitement. There needs to be less of that. And Goose Gossage in his eternal awfulness. Pretty much was old man yelling at clouds.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I will try not to complain about Papelbon's quotes and everything. I don't want him to choke people, but I think that's a pretty reasonable expectation.
I cut my line at assault. Please don't.
Yeah. But I appreciate that he will say what's on his mind, because I think that should be respected, even if I don't agree with it.
I agree.
Because I want to see more players saying what they really believe, even if it's dumb as shit.
Yeah, because that's what brings personality into the whole world.
It's more interesting.
Yeah, it makes baseball more interesting. And why are we not striving for that?
Heroes and villains.
Yep. We should strive for fun. That's what baseball should be. That's how you get people to watch it.
More bat flips. I saw a video today on Deadspin of a 4-year-old doing a bat flip, and it was awesome.
That's amazing, and it's one of my favorite things during the season of what Cespedes Family Barbecue do.
Oh yeah,
just bat flips on bat flips. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Okay, so the one thing I pulled up about Ross, you were talking about his, if he puts a fourth pitch, then it's amazing, and I completely agree, especially when his fastball velocity average is a little above 93.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's really, and he's got 10-mile-an-hour difference on his slider. I mean, he can be an elite level pitcher once he actually figures it all out. So, I really want to see that happen desperately. Lucas Giolito going to minor league camp is certainly not surprising with a week left in the year. When do you expect we see Giolito this year?
I think it's going to be earlier than we want.
Because injury?
Injury. If you look at the depth chart, who is the sixth starter?
Taylor Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it.
If given the option between Taylor Hill and Lucas Giolito, what does Giolito have to learn in the minors, to be honest? I mean, isn't Giolito right now better than Tanner Roark?
Yes.
And Joe Ross?
Yes.
And maybe even Gio Gonzalez?
Yeah, I don't know about Gio yet, but definitely.
He's not a lefty, but he is good.
Definitely the other two. And I think that with
the fact that you're even thinking about, is he better than Gio Gonzalez?
Yeah.
That's even a conversation worth having.
Yeah. I mean, Giolito could make the opening day roster.
And I think he would succeed, but there are monetary and
bingo
year considerations, of course.
If that injury happens after the middle of May.
Yeah. After the window for Super 2.
Whatever. Yeah, then Giolito is your call-up.
Absolutely. No question.
Because by then he's had 6 starts at the minor league level.
Oh, yeah, those 6 starts, he's going to learn a lot.
Yeah, I mean...
Because he sure doesn't know how to throw a freaking hammer.
Yeah, his
already
is gross.
He's disgusting.
It's so
no, I legitimately
and he's done well in spring training against. He has started games, away games where teams have put in their top lineup, and he has carved them up.
Yes, that's why I think he is. This is sounding ridiculous. I think he's a step below Strasburg, but a step, not 5.
Well, I think that's what the Nationals, if they can't re-sign Strasburg in the offseason, I think that's what they're hoping.
Oh, I think that's absolutely what he's there for.
He's going to replace Strasburg. He's going to be the new number 2.
Yeah, and I don't think the Nationals will re-sign Strasburg. But that's for long down the road. But yeah, Giolito's there, and he's phenomenal. But I think right now he's the 3rd best pitcher they have.
Yeah.
And
I long term or right now?
I think right now.
I still think Gio's better.
I don't know, man.
I still think Gio's better.
I think
right today
been more consistent.
But we can't really.
I think the 21-year-old has been more consistent than the veteran.
We can't really know that though. He's made a handful of starts above high A.
It's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I you might be right.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we can possibly know that yet, that he's better. And I think that Gio gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
And so I think that Gio deserves more than he gets. I think that he is a top 3 pitcher on almost every team in baseball.
And his hair right now is
the flow.
Point.
The flow is amazing.
Yeah, so his hair is better than Giolito. Although baking skills not close.
We're gonna get there.
Okay.
We're gonna get there. Because
we're having a long show tonight, folks.
We're having it. Well, I mean, not really, but
a long 2 shows tonight.
Long show and a half. Let's call it a show and a half.
I like it.
So about a week ago, I feel like.
Is anyone still listening? Is anyone out there still listening?
Quite a few folks still.
Okay, good.
In. About a week ago, Mike Lilburn, Lilburn maybe.
I like Lilburn.
Asked about Danny Espinosa, and I favorited it because I wanted to make sure I brought it up. At the time, he said, when do we start panicking about Danny 0 for 17? Love his defense, but that leaves more to be desired. I think the day that he tweeted that, Danny went 2 for 3, and I was kind of like, that's fun. But we talked about it a little bit, so I don't want to spend too much time about it, but I wanted to mention the question. It's something to be concerned about. I mean, you have to look at it and say, I haven't watched a lot of spring games, to be totally honest, but a lot of things that I've been reading is that he's looked bad. His swing has looked bad. His first hit obviously came from the right side of the plate, where he's always been stronger. And he even played with only hitting from the right side last season because he was in that situation. So, and I think it's one of the things that Matt Williams really did for Danny Espinosa was helped figure his swing out. And I think he needs Rick Shue and Dusty to help him out there. Hopefully he figures it out. His defense is a net positive to a point, especially when you have a guy like Daniel Murphy, whose bat is a net positive, but defense is not. But it's something to be concerned about. Do you have anything else to add about that?
This is, I'm coming from a place that Joe does not understand yet. Danny Espinosa is going to becoming a father.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
His mind is in 500 different places right now, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a little slack because that's a big deal. His wife is pregnant, and they're, I believe, having a son.
I don't know.
I think it's a son. He and Sarah are pregnant, and it's wonderful, and I'm really happy for him. But it's a big deal, learning that you're becoming a parent to a living thing that you're going to have to take care of. Are
you alluding to Ian Desmond, Papa strength, like when he would have a kid in the middle of the season, then would explode defensively?
Yes.
Or offensively, excuse me?
A little bit. I mean, that's definitely part of it. And I mean, I think Ryan Zimmerman's having another as well.
Yes, he is having another.
But I think that there's a mental aspect that goes in everything where you realize that your life is going to be completely different from that point on. And it kind of gets in your head and you kind of get all over the place for a little bit. So that could very well be happening with Danny Espinosa because we need to always, always, always try and remember that ball players are people too.
Yeah, they have human things happening in their life.
They have human things
but
and health issues and family issues and everything.
For sure. But so, you still have to be able to play for your team.
I think he will. And it's spring. So I have all the faith in Danny Espinosa.
The year that Drew Storen had 40-something saves, he had like a 15 ERA in spring training. So I don't put a whole lot of stack into spring training. And then there was a year that Mike Morris, I think, hit like 400 in spring training and hit nothing for his first 2 months of the year.
God, I loved Michael Morris.
Yeah, what's not to love? Good dude. All right, next question, because this is going to be the longest podcast we've had in a while.
I'm for it.
How's the battle? Mike Munson asks, how's the battle for shortstops shaping up? When might we see Giolito and DC, which we hit? And is Craig joining the bullpen, which it leads to another question that Mike asks, which is ask Craig about his fastball, which I wanted.
Nice.
So battle for shortstops shaping up. On the same note, does Danny Espinosa start opening day at shortstop, or does Trey Turner, or does somebody else, I guess? But really, one of those two.
Barring injury, it's Danny Espinosa.
So talk a little bit about your killer fastball, Craig. Why don't you take 30 seconds to talk about yourself?
Oh, God, this is awful. I was at the Clubhouse Social last week. Thank you very much to Valerie with the Nationals and the entire National organization for inviting little old me into the clubhouse to do things and drink and eat and be merry, essentially. We had a fastest pitch competition of everyone there, and I had the fastest pitch somehow. Suck it, Johan.
This is the question I want to ask you.
Yes.
How is it possible that you threw a ball faster than Johan?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
For those of you that don't know, at NL Beast Nats, high school pitching coach, didn't throw as hard as I did. And
he says he let up on it and wants a rematch.
Of course he wants a rematch, and he can have a rematch, but I am not giving up my prize. I'm happy to lose the rematch. but I'm not giving up my 2013 team signed bat that I got for it.
And if I remember correctly, he did not blame you for that, but he just wants a rematch for pride.
No, that's fine. I have none, so
Because
I don't
honestly,
have any to lose.
I had no when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense that Craig. And then I saw Johan being like, yeah, I was there, and I was like, Craig threw faster than Johan.
Yeah, it was 62, and this sounds awful. I really wasn't gunning it. Like, my arm didn't hurt afterwards, which that's a sure sign that you know. But no, it didn't hurt afterwards, and so that's kind of weird. But
I would have been thrilled to break 50.
yeah,
So,
but fastest pitch, pretty cool, really cool experience throwing in the cages
in the bullpens, right?
Yeah, under the stadium.
Yeah.
Short distance.
In the annals of Nats Park, if you will.
Yeah, short distance from the clubhouse. So
Very
that was
cool.
really cool. But yeah, fastest pitch. This guy right here, happy to join the bullpen. I can locate 70 on a good day.
Fair enough.
I used to be able to hit 80, but no longer probably.
Fair enough.
So yeah, really cool.
So officially at this point, because you would like to keep your shoulder intact, you are not joining bullpen.
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
But
you're not in the best shape of your life, is what you're saying.
Oh, well, I might be. It's relative, really.
Yeah, but you're not. I've known you.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, Johan's tweeting probably angrily
it's
to what I'm
it's
saying.
funny.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Okay.
No, hold on real quick. I'm not done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, God.
I was going to say something, but I totally forgot what it was.
Good, because we're going to move on because we're already over an hour.
No, it's good. It's fine.
Well, if you include cumulative podcasting tonight, we're over like 120. So
yeah, that's true. But no, I'm happy to join. Oh, this is what I was going to say. If I can make major league minimum for like a month, I'm happy to throw as hard as I can and lose my shoulder for the rest of my life.
Yeah, fair enough. Beard wants to know who our dream sponsor to acquiring the name of Nats Park would be. Which leads to what we were talking about before. Obviously, you've probably heard if you're listening to the show that the Nationals are trying to sell rights to Nationals Park, so it will no longer be Nationals Park. It will be some sort of sponsored location. So, if we could have our dream sponsor to acquire the naming rights of Nats Park, who would that be?
Beer at Nats Park.
Can you make some effort?
Oh, okay. WB Mason.
Yeah, that's a decent option, actually.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be a local sponsor. I think there's a lot of local corporations around, especially in the your world, Joe, the government contracting world.
That seems like a pretty likely set of circumstances.
No, it just makes sense. I mean, DC is such a government/military focused support city. I really think it's going to be something like Leidos, which sponsors DC United's jerseys. Something like that. Deloitte.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. PNC Bank, I believe, is local. Capital One, locally organized. So I think it's going to be something like that. Yeah.
I think there's a chance that I think you're probably right in that. I think there's a chance that somebody like Geico gets involved.
Geico, yeah.
Because they sponsor a bunch of local teams. The one thing that I would like to see is something Nationals Park at Geico. Geico Field at Nationals Park.
Yeah, I would like to see something like that. Yeah.
To me, Nationals Park is the team's been around for 11 years now. Nationals Park has been around for 8. And I feel like it's important to have a nod to the fact that this has been the team that's been here for a long time. And this is what it was called. And I think for a long period of time, that's what people are going to call it anyway. Just like people still call whatever they call Comiskey. I really don't know where the White Sox play. I have no idea what it's called. Because it's Comiskey to me. And I think that AT&T Park is certainly no candlestick, but they changed fields. So it's a bit different. This is a relatively brand new ballpark that is one of the better viewing experiences in Major League Baseball. No, you could say about anything about whether or not it's the most beautiful ballpark inside, a la AT&T Park or Wrigley or any of those. But I think you have to have some sort of nod in there. But I have no problem with the sponsor, especially if it means $100 million a year to sign Bryce Harper. So,
yeah, that sounds good.
Moving along to more baseball related questions because we're just going brutally long here.
It's wonderful.
What should we realistically expecting from Bryce this year? Will asks us. WK side of Nats on Twitter.
I really don't think it's going to be as amazing as it was last year, but it's going to be pretty freaking amazing. I think we're looking at another top 5 MVP finish. Obviously, depending on how the Nats do this year, I don't think he's going to destroy everyone, but I think it's going to be a race. But I think we're looking at top 3, top 5.
I think top 3. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think top 3. I'm not going to guarantee that he's going to win, and it's almost impossible to imagine how he could be as good as last year because it was historically good.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't Mike Trout not even won 2 consecutive MVP trophies?
Yeah, no, I don't think he has. So,
which is insanity.
So this is a really important question. So I'm going to try and save that.
Oh.
Beard wants to know why we always record with a new episode of Arrow on, and my response is I have no idea what Arrow is.
What is Arrow?
Like honestly, I'm trying.
Is this like the Hunger Games?
I don't know. I really don't know what Arrow is. So if somebody could tell me, that'd be great because I've never heard of it. So, Fang asks, "What?"
I'm guessing it's a CBS procedural or some sort.
It's possible. Fang wants to know what holiday do you wish took place during baseball season and why?
I think opening day is better than Christmas.
It is a very good day.
Opening day is probably my favorite holiday. Excuse me, second favorite holiday.
Thanksgiving, obviously.
Obviously Thanksgiving because I'm a fat guy.
Yeah. So I do not want baseball to happen during Thanksgiving because I just want to focus on the food.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if there's any other day any other holiday that exists that I wish happened during baseball season, to be honest with you.
I don't think there is because
I've got
everything is perfect.
I've got Independence Day.
It's perfect.
Labor Day, Memorial Day. I've got the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Nothing is my answer.
Yeah.
Jessica at Nats Jess wants to know what we want to see Lucas Giolito bake next.
What would I like to see him bake next?
Peanut butter pie.
Peanut butter pie?
Peanut butter pie.
I think maybe a chess pie.
A chess pie?
Or maybe a derby pie. Oh, a derby pie.
A derby pie. Okay, there you go.
Who doesn't love a derby pie?
Derby pie. Faye wants to know which sport has the best preseason and which sport has the worst preseason and why.
Best baseball, worst every other sport ever.
Yeah. It's so best is baseball because of what it is. I don't know, there's something special about it. It's like in 2 different locations, everybody goes to the exact same spot.
Yes, this is what's crazy about baseball. There are 2 sites in America where you go for baseball.
Yeah.
During preseason.
It's pretty amazing.
And you can go and people make pilgrimages.
Yeah. We did several years in a row.
Yes. Yeah. You go specifically for this one thing, and it benefits the local economy an incredible amount. In both Florida and Arizona. It's really unbelievable what it actually is. And if you think about any other sport, I mean, when you think of NFL preseason, you see a starter for a quarter.
Yeah.
Then you see the backup for 2 quarters. Then you see me for the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. And no one cares. Everyone spends all of the money and is gone by the 2nd quarter. And then you have NHL. What's NHL? preseason? Do you even know? I mean, I'm guessing it's games, but no one gives
it's games, and I'm not even sure the NBA has one.
no one gives a good damn.
Yeah, spring training is special. It's a different kind of feel to it. Yeah. So the worst, I was going to say the NBA because I'm not entirely sure they actually have one. I know they do, but I've never seen a game. So I've seen a hockey game and NFL preseason as whatever. So, yeah, baseball is the best. And
It's baseball. It's no question. It's not even.
I'm speaking from a position of bias, admittedly. However, it's baseball because
it's not even close
because of what it is.
Yeah.
Fans flock to like you said, they flock to the game.
They flock.
Nobody does that for.
There is legit flocking action.
There's
hashtag flocking action.
The worst. Mike also asks, is Blake Trinan's absurd spring training ERA a mirage or evidence he's turned a corner? Spring training ERAs are always a mirage. However, I still believe Blake can be legit.
I think he can definitely be legit. I think part of it is that he has some experience under his belt now, and he's learned how to pitch instead of how to throw.
Yeah, and location of pitches. Mike Maddox has obviously helped out with his changeup apparently, and if he can get doesn't have a really good second pitch. If he can get a really good second pitch, let alone a third, just a really good second pitch besides a 98-mile-an-hour sinker, he's going to be a legitimate force at the back of the Nationals bullpen. And I said that last year. I still believe that it's true.
Absolutely.
For sure. And and Beard tells us apparently Arrow is the Green Arrow from the comics, and it's a CW show. So look at that. I had no idea that was a thing.
Is CW like the WB?
It's the WB.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, God, I almost missed the most important question. Beard asked, what is the best Easter candy? This is the question that created all of the buzz on the Nats Talk on the Go Twitter account.
This is the hot take of the century from many people.
God, please don't say the wrong thing.
Wow. What?
Because
what
I
am I
love
supposed
you.
to say? It's got to be Reese's egg, right?
What? Come on. It's Cadbury cream egg, dude.
Dude, they're weird.
It is so good. So he asked this question, and immediately Stephanie K's replied, it's the cream egg, which obviously is the case. The cream egg is the best. Now, Reese's egg, amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I dig on an Easter jelly bean. They're phenomenal.
Wow.
They are phenomenal. But Cadbury cream egg is the only answer to that question.
It's Reese's egg, actually.
God, Reese's egg is good. But Cadbury cream egg, I'm sticking with it. Because I love a Cadbury cream egg. I buy like one a year because it's just like, it's disgustingly sugary.
Wow. I did not think you were going to say just that. I thought you were going to go pretty hardcore.
No, I love a Cadbury cream egg, dude. I've got nothing else. Also, Peeps are disgusting. So, I just had to add that little hot take to my thing. I think they're gross. So, that's the answer to the most important question of the podcast. And this has been the longest podcast ever. So, thank you for sticking with us. For those of you who have stuck with us from part one, thank you. You got an exclusive because that's going away.
Yeah, that's going to be deleted
shortly. But thanks for tuning in to episode 113, lucky number 113 of Nats Talk on the Go. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you guys next week for our big reveal.
Next week, big reveal, hashtag flocking action.